Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Between Bells here on Cheddar. I'm Baker Machado. You know our next guest is a frequent Chopped judge and an Iron Chef as well. Food Network star Alex Guarnaschelli is the host of Supermarket Stakeout, a cooking show where chefs square off in a competitive pop-up kitchen that is outside in the parking lot of the grocery store. And they have to negotiate with shoppers for their grocery bags as well. So juicy. I love this. Joining us now is the one and only chef, Alex Guarnaschelli. Alex, great to see you as always. So good to have you back here on Cheddar. Unlike any show you've been a part of before, apparently. So what do you love about Supermarket Stakeout?
Well, I mean, after almost over a decade on Food Network, what I love most about Supermarket Stakeout is hosting the show, which is really a cool privilege for me. They said, you know what, hey, Alex, we've got a great idea for you for a show. We're going to put you in a parking lot all over America. And I thought, wow, I feel like I'm in first class. But you would not believe how much life goes on in a parking lot. And when you put some chefs in there and you get some negotiating with groceries, it's obviously a very timely moment to be talking about grocery stores as essential workers. We've reframed the supermarket as the place to be. So a supermarket stakeout is very fitting, I feel.
And the ingredients that they're getting from a lot of these shoppers is incredible as well. What maybe have you learned from the show Supermarket Stakeout that maybe you've applied to your own life during quarantine?
Yeah. Well, now when I watch the show and anybody gets toilet paper or paper towels and the chefs are like, I don't need that, I'm thinking, hey, I bet a lot of us would happily scoop up those items, not to cook with, but just to have. And then the other thing is this, the most commonly purchased ingredient at the supermarket is, drum roll, I know it should be cheddar cheese or cheddar, but it's bananas. So that's what people buy most frequently in the supermarket, which is not always terribly useful. I've learned that the most coveted item in a grocery bag is eggs.
Oh, yeah, because you could do everything.
Eggs, yeah. And, you know, we have a little bit of a pantry on the show. If you have eggs, you can really run with that. You can make all kinds of batters and doughs. Of course, you know, you could make some beautiful blueberry cottage cheese filled donuts if you get some eggs. This is such a simple recipe. Couldn't resist the little segue that happened so organically. But eggs are definitely tip top. People have had things like 50 pounds of carrots. Somebody got like a baby potty and a fountain and some mood lights. You would really be surprised at sort of the bandwidth that the supermarket has for Americans. You can get dressed for a wedding, buy a gift and a card and flowers. So you can roll up to the supermarket and roll out ready to attend any party or event. As far as taking that idea to the home pantry, what I've learned is something I knew, but I had to learn it again. I find that happens a lot. I'm interested in ways that you can have protein just sitting at home on the shelf. Things like quinoa, lentils, chickpeas, ingredients, canned tuna that are in your pantry or that you should have as staples that are loaded with protein that can really help you get a substantial meal on the table. Another one, of course, dairy is always a great source of protein. My partnership with Hood, particularly Hood Cottage Cheese, is another great way to introduce a great punch of protein. And I've made several recipes with them in my partnership with them. I made an egg frittata where we stir cottage cheese and we bake it, and it's luscious and creamy, has a ton of protein. I made a broccoli casserole, which I feel like that's just such Americana. And then these donuts, which are actually filled with Hood's new flavor, blueberry. And just cooking at home, working with what you have, being more resourceful. You know, I can't just duck out and get what I want every time I have a craving.
Well, so Alex, I want to talk about those blueberry cottage cheese churro flavored donuts, because you said this a long time ago, and now I've been waiting to go into more of this because I'm salivating over all of these things. We also have the recipe too. I want to show our viewers the recipe on this. Tell us about those. What's the best way to eat these things? Because this seems like a very different sort of thing that you normally wouldn't find somewhere else.
By the way, I love that you asked me, how do you eat them? People don't ask me that often enough. People say, how do I make them? What do I need? What do I do?
Put it in your mouth.
You just want to skip to all of that and get to the eating. Here's the thing. you can make this dough. It's super simple, and it's sort of an express way to get to a donut quickly, because donuts can be time consuming if you're going yeast and all that. Really, the protein of the cottage cheese is sort of the glue of this recipe. So you mix some ingredients together, a lot of simple essential things: baking powder, vanilla, flour, nothing unusual. And then the cottage cheese and a few eggs and milk come into play together, and they link up and they create this super easy dough, which you then roll, cut, and fry. And I actually made, just to show you, you can make different sizes, little snack size, bigger ones, and that answers your question. How do you eat them? You know what? Any way you want. You make the dough. You can keep the dough in the fridge overnight. You can also freeze it raw and defrost them and fry them and fill them as you want them. I like a recipe like that, where I don't have to make a million of them and then eat them all. You can, dose your donuts in your life over the course of a few days. If you have that kind of self control. And the recipe's on hood.com. So it's really easy. I feel like I miss donuts. I can't just pop out and grab them where I am. I need them. They're a food group to me. Do you understand this?
I agree, Alex. It should be at the top of the pyramid as the most important thing for us
I
all
know.
to eat right now. Chef
Fruits,
Alex.
vegetables, olive oil, fish,
Yes.
donuts.
Donuts, very important at the very top. Chef Alex Guarnaschelli, amazing stuff. Thank you so much for coming on and showing us all this great stuff. Of course, celebrity chef and a Food Network star in